Good morning, everybody. Welcome to You, Me, and Mr. Coffee. Oh, man. We had such an exciting weekend. I hope you guys did too. I hope you guys were enjoying your weekend. And turn myself down. I'm peeking over here. Let's go ahead and turn down our music just a little bit. All right. Get us set up for today's stream. I will like to say, and it's not an excuse or anything, you might hear that I'm a little different sounding than I normally am during the week. Hey, good morning. Appreciate it. I have been growing, like throughout the weekend, I've been growing very sick. I don't know what bug I caught. But I'm like today I'm very cloudy feeling. And I definitely feel a little bit more tired than I normally do. And still a little bit queasy. I don't know what happened. But I'm chugging through. We'll get through this together. It's not really super bad. It's just like today I'm really foggy feeling. And that's the best way that I can do that. Can say as you can tell, like I can't even put my words together whenever it comes to that. I'm gonna give me a quick second. I'm gonna transition the scene real quick because I gotta fix something. We good now? We're good now. Yeah, I am really under the weather today. I'm trying to kind of, muster on, but it's been a challenge this weekend. Do feel pretty exhausted. But I had a long sleep last night, so maybe that's just what it is. I do have, on the other hand, my cup of coffee. Hope you guys have yours as well. Get a good sip in for the beginning of the day. Oh man, nice and warm. Oh, that tastes good. That tastes really good. I hope yours does too. I have been tirelessly working throughout the entire weekend to get our website up and running. And it's ready. It's ready to unveil, and I will have it unveiled today by the end of the show. So when you do get to see it in the chat, it's going to be the biggest thing that I was working on in the last bit of it was the domain name that I have for it has kind of been attached to Wix, and I've been kind of like trying to fight with Wix this entire time, and trying to get the domain to get over. And I finally got in touch with. I finally went through their hotline thing, and they called me, and we worked it through and found out that it's not Wix that is the problem, because did everything through Wix to get it to come over, but the problem actually lies with Base 44. We're running into a lot of problems with Base 44. Not to say Base 44 is a bad product. It's just that it could be a lot of user error, but this one isn't so much user error as more as a connection error between both domains. So that's what I'm going to be working on today, behind the scenes, trying to get that going and up and running. We're going to switch through a few of our lo-fi songs just to kind of, switch it up a bit. I'm trying to have some fun with that. And then we're going to talk about a lot of topics today because a lot of things happened this last weekend. A lot of things happened this weekend. So it's going to be good to kind of jump into that and have some fun learning that. I'm going to put my OBS over here. And I'm going to bring chat over here so that I can see you while I read my notes. And then we can get into some of the topics of the day. I'm hoping you guys had a great and wonderful weekend yourself. Tell me about it. Let's hear what everybody has had while I get this set up. What you guys did this weekend. So I have been on Twitch. Last Wednesday, we tried Twitch for the first time, and I told everybody, I don't know if I'm going to go back to Twitch. I don't think I feel comfortable going back to Twitch because of the way that Twitch is going is more pornographic than it is, gaming. And you could see it right there. And I just don't want to draw a young crowd to my community, and then that person having that kind of access. But that was kind of premature and not really looking at the big scale of things. And I think Friday we talked a little bit about how it was a shock. I was amazed that as soon as I started up my stream last Wednesday, I had 5 people sitting there. And it was like a shock. I was like, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't market it, but I had people there ready to do it. People that had been waiting for me to return to Twitch for a long time. They were there and they were chatting and they had a great time. Well, last Saturday we fired it back up and we had a raid on us. We had we had a grand time. Granted, the game we started with is not what we ended with because Star Citizen was not cooperating or fun at the time, and it was very encumbersome. But it is an early access game, and currently, and it has its bugs or features. Oh, it stormed there and worked for your weekend. Yeah, and you worked this weekend. Yeah, everybody getting to work. But I'm really glad that the storms did not affect you too much. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, that was a great stream. I was raided by a group when we were playing Star Miner. And we got followers out of that raid. So hey, to the wounded, oh gosh, oh man, I'm gonna butcher it. I think it was the Wounded Wolfpack, but if you're watching the show, folks, I apologize if I butchered your guys's group name, but I got raided by them and it was fun. And it was from a guy from Denmark who was streaming for the show after showing the game, and we got to kind of get them into my stream, and we had a great time building together and having fun with that game. Oh, calling for more tomorrow. Well, 'tis the season's transition, so, and being where the storms are raging through the Midwest, and I hope you all are being safe, and wishing you all the best out of the storms, hoping that it's making those farmlands in good shape for this year's harvest. But yeah, storms can be a bit scary. No tornadoes, right? There was not any call for any tornadoes. It was just like severe thunderstorms that were in the Midwest at the moment? Yeah, you're welcome. Of course. But we're gonna go ahead. Not to segue, but I've been called out for having too much dead air sometimes. So we're gonna go ahead and move into some of the topics that happened this weekend. Okay, that's good. Just severe thunderstorms. They can get those. Those are easy. Trust me. Speaking of which, like, those who don't know, I've experienced really catastrophic like storms in my lifetime. I was in North Carolina during Sandy. I was in Japan during one of the, well, 2 times of having level 5 super typhoons ripping through. One while I was on duty and my kids and my ex-wife was at home, and that was a bit scary because I wasn't there with them. And the time before that was whenever I didn't even know them. I was in both times in Okinawa, Japan. So when I was serving out there. So yeah, it was, both of the times were pretty intense, but surprising enough, I didn't feel the nervousness until after. It's really weird. Like during it, it's like, oh man, that's an amazing storm. You're listening to the creaks of the building. You're watching the trees to make sure that, you know, nothing's gonna break. And then, you know, if it is gonna break, you know, keeping people away from those areas. And we had a good time. Like during Sandy, I had a car that you could plug into. If I had the car running, it acted like a generator. So whenever the power went out, we were able to power all the electronics in the house, and we were watching, you know, I think it was Coco Melon for the kids for a while on the TV. We were the only neighbors in the neighborhood that had it. I kind of sucked in a few of the neighbors in the area to our house, and all the kids got to play and enjoy each other. We cooked some food, and it wasn't too bad. But my neighbors behind us, oh yeah, Frederick, back in the 70s, that was pretty scary. Yeah, that hit the Gulf hard. And not to discount it especially, but the only like for Sandy though, like I'm saying, like our neighbor behind us was unfortunate. A tree fell into their house, but luckily we knew that they weren't there during that. They actually left and went to family during that time frame. So it was just, it kind of sucked that they were going to unfortunately come back to their house being damaged. But all of our friends from the local area, that they were getting a little nervous because of the creeks and everything. So they came to our house and we had all the electricity and had a good time. It wasn't until after Sandy had left that we knew how dangerous it became. At some point during Sandy, we heard this like really weird howl for a good solid few minutes. Like it wasn't long, but it was, for us, it was clearly a few minutes of this really hard whipping wind. And come to find out that a tornado had like formed not even a mile above our base and had totally obliterated an entire housing division that was north of us. Absolutely ripped through and destroyed it. Luckily, like for the most part, not a lot of people were living there at the time. It was still under development. So the rapid redevelopment went underway from governmental help. But but yeah, that was wild. Knowing that we were that close to, I think they were saying it was a Cat 3 Cat 3, or what is it, F3 tornado. So like afterwards, it was pretty unique that happened. But that's, Sandy back in the past. There's been huge storms since then, yeah, that had ripped through, and we've had big experiences since. I mean, Katrina was even a pretty big one that had catastrophes. I think it was more, not so much that the storm was the catastrophe, but the disasters of infrastructure failing. That's where Katrina really comes into play. But that was the storms that I've experienced, and I'm just kind of glad that I kept my cool through storms. They never really scared me. Storms don't really scare me at all. But I as a dad though, and during Sandy, and I'm sitting there, and my kids are seeing me. My ex-wife even complimented me after, and was like, if it wasn't for me being so cool about everything and treating it, nonchalantly, she would have been freaking out. But I hope you guys had a great weekend. We have a lot of things to talk about during the show today. We have a lot of topics to cover. I am trying something new this episode. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of get a few different topics in per hour. So the first hour, we're already a half an hour deep. But we'll try to get a couple of topics here in some sports, some movies, and some space. We'll start with the space stuff like we have done before, so we can get that out of the way. Oh man, and take the good drink of coffee. But one thing that I found on the weekend, that was a surprise, that NASA astronauts, get this, are going to the moon wearing Prada. And that's not a joke. That's legit. Prada and Axiom Space unveiled the inner cooling layer garment for NASA's Artemis 4 mission, Moonwalkers. And it's a liquid cool and ventilating suit designed by the Italian luxury fashion house Prada. It's genuinely beautiful and technically advanced. Make sure you guys do kind of look this up yourself. It's really really unique. I mean, we always heard Prada, even what the Devils Wear Prada 2 just came out this year. Talk about fashion branding. And it going beyond, just entertainment. It's now going into space, which is intense. That's crazy. But at the same time, I mean, that's kind of cool that our astronauts are going to be wearing Prada in space. I think that's a real big marketing pull for sure for Prada. I know that... yeah. Oh wow. Touch them. Yeah. I thought it was interesting. I was like, the biggest change, I would say, in how our astronauts have been wearing, or what they've been wearing, was whenever SpaceX had introduced their new suit for the Dragon capsule. And we looked at it and was like, that's not like what we're used to. We're used to that big, bulky suit, and we're looking at him like, that's streamlined. That's something that I think that I could wear around the house. Like, it was very tight, form-fitting, and it was great because it was a lot of people who had looked at the sciences of everything and fabrics and the advancement of technology, and was like, we can make this smaller and functional, and beyond just wearable, but functional. Like it have all the elements inside of it, like the cooling layer, the internal AC duction, air duction that goes into the suit. And it was like you're sitting there going, wow, where was this? Why were we overcomplicating these suits for so many years? And of course, they came out with like, no, this is meant for just the Ascent. Like that other suit is now the EVA suit, and very much a a contender to whatever they could design and build. And now to know that we are having more of these suits coming out, and they're taking it seriously as far as quality material, quality building of fabric, and its integration. And it's really cool that fashion is starting to like lean into function with our advancements in space and technology, which is pretty cool. Yeah, now we're poshing in space. Next, freeze-dried caviar and crackers. No, oh, that's an actual thing. I could have remember. I could have sworn that I remember. That foggy head of mine. I could have sworn I remember that there was one time that they tried caviar in space. I'd have to check it up. I'd have to look it up later, but that's worth a Google. Have they? You know what? Let's check it. Have astronauts ate caviar in space? That in space. That would be pretty cool. Yes, I knew it. Astronauts have eaten caviar in space. Because it's traditionally open in tins and easily floating debris, crews enjoyed it in microgravity by squeezing it directly into their mouths via a tube. So yeah, it was introduced as like a holidays celebrate, like in holiday celebration with the Russian cosmonauts. So I knew that I seen like something on it where I saw NASA astronauts actually eating caviar. So yeah, and and ew, and ew. Yeah, caviar. I'm not a big fan of caviar myself. I've tried it on with wine and crackers and cheese, but that was some years ago, and I definitely was not. We did have a launch this morning from SpaceX, with a record-breaking booster this morning. So SpaceX Falcon 9 lifted from Cape Canaveral early this morning on a record-setting booster flight. Just another Monday for SpaceX, of course. While Blue Origin is still like licking their wounds from last week, SpaceX is launching record flights before breakfast. SpaceX breaks a booster record, and I think it's the record is about be clear, the amount of times that the one booster was being used. And I forgot to write down the number. Sorry, guys. Little bit of part of the fogginess. Let me get that number for you guys. Yeah, so tail number B1067 with 35 flights and landings. So which is more flights than any booster and retrieve, not just boosters going into space, and single use booster going into space and coming back and landing. So 35 total flights. So great job, SpaceX and Falcon 9. The Falcon 9 team has got to be kind of just, reeling at this point, because you gotta think, where were we just like 10 years ago? That was the first successful landing, I think, was like a little over 10 years ago. And then now we're reusing these rockets like it's cool. And it's not just one booster. We have multiple boosters that are climbing into space nearly every other day. And give it up to SpaceX for having that, because that's why we're getting faster internet. That's why we're getting protective means for even our own nation, and keeping us highly advanced, and getting us the ability to go to the moon. I know that a lot of people are not going to agree with the space race, and I know that there's a lot of things that are happening here, but it doesn't mean out of 8 billion people around the world that we can't have one set of people that are concentrated on space flight while everybody else is concentrated on the things that we're working on here. So let's keep rooting for SpaceX. And even if you don't like Elon Musk is not SpaceX. Elon Musk started SpaceX, but there's a whole different director. There's a whole different group of people. He is just the owner of, and he gets into it, and he has ambitions and everything, but it's really about all the people that work. And the same thing for Blue Origin, and their group of people as well. I know I keep on kind of bashing them this week because of the disaster that happened not too long ago, but the space race is just fantastic. I really think that it's beyond kind of like how we were doing the Cold War stuff when it comes down to the micro people, where we're more or less the factories that are building these rockets and getting us into space. Those people have a passion for it that you desire people to have the passion for, instead of the top end individuals that are, they have their objectives and goals and so forth. All the people that manufacture these boosters and these rocketry and getting into space and trying to get us closer to our future in space. But it's about their journey and their story that I like the most. And I'm a big space sci-fi enthusiast, so I'm loving what's happening. Also ESA, like, I know I talk a lot about like American companies, but I mean, ESA, the European Space Agency, has been pushing out a lot. Japan has been pushing out a lot. That alliance that we have here has been doing great. China is doing fantastic. I know we kind of in America hate on China, but their space agency is doing fantastic, and their taikonauts are doing amazing work in space. And trying to build new technologies to kind of help further ourselves. It would be really nice if we can get all of the agencies under one roof. That would be pretty cool. Again, I'm not a big supporter of the commercialism of spaceflight, but it has proven its bounds. SpaceX being able to put up a lot for different companies, and also for their own ambitions, for Tesla and not Tesla, Starlink. So, not trying to spend the morning advocating for SpaceX or anything, but man, 35th flight, 40 runs of a booster before, it's retired, possibly more. They're definitely going to be pushing this rocket, this booster, 1067. I know they're going to be pushing it as hard as they can, as long as they can, to see the lifespan of these in a safe manner. So that's the biggest thing. But it's the most reliable rocket we've ever had. I mean, to date, at least, we don't have any other reusable rockets that have had that much success. So great job, SpaceX, and the SpaceX team. Congratulations for, such a milestone with Falcon 9. And I think Falcon 9 uses the Merlin engines, not the Raptor engines. For those that are interested, the engines are really the bigger part of this out of the boosters. All right, so let me... We got another thing that we can kind of roll into. We will go ahead and move from there, and we're going to move into movies. We talked last week about Scary Movie, and we talked about Masters of the Universe, the soft opens for those, and what's expected out of it. And we got a success, and we got a flop. And the success was Scary Movie. Scary Movie had its biggest opening, and that's $55 million. The reboot opened domestically and $105 million worldwide. And that happens to be the franchise best. All the other Scary Movies have never reached this milestone in gains. So that is amazing. It also pushed the Scary Movies series past $1 billion, and in total box office sales through each of the movies. So that's a lot, and that's fantastic. Nobody saw this coming. R-rated comedies are officially back, as some would say. Scary Movie has been dormant over a decade, and they thought that it wasn't going to work, but after this weekend, that's not the case. There's a lot of call for this movie. Apparently it is hilarious, and they really captured everything of the modern scary shows, and they really kept, as far as I've been reading, I didn't get to watch it, but as far as I've been reading, Scary Movie has kept true to its true origins in comedy, and taking the current thrillers that are out there and horror movies that are out there, and parodying them in the best way possible, and showing homage to those, a tip of the hat to those greats that are out there. So great job, Scary Movie team. That's awesome. I'm actually I was hesitant about giving it a watch, but I might go ahead and give it a watch. I might wait till it gets to video or streaming release, just because I have a very busy schedule ahead of me, and I can't really get out to the cinema this week or next week. Now, moving from Scary Movie success, and we said that there was a flop, Masters of the Universe. But it didn't do too bad. It didn't do awful, but it did flop. Unfortunately, the $29 million proves it with opening weekend. He-Man opened to just $29.3 million, underperforming against every expectation. Like, the marketing that was put into it, a lot of people just wasn't into watching He-Man, unfortunately. So even with the nostalgia behind it, the franchise could not match what they were assuming was going to be what they want. But that's not entirely bad for Masters of the Universe, because spoiler, sorry, cover your ears, mute me. I'll give you a thumbs up. But She-Ra teaser at the end of the movie, it is an obvious expectation that this will mean there's going to be more from the series, and this wasn't much but just an introduction into the Masters of the Universe franchise. So if anything, if you watch it later and you find out, we'll see very much more of Masters of the Universe, even though it didn't meet expectations as intended, and it kind of flopped. But it's okay. Masters of the Universe had every advantage, nostalgia, and built-in fan base, and a summer release, but just could not push it. But yeah, you got Scary Movie that kind of cannibalized it, I think. But Scary Movie was really good. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think a lot of people these days are waiting for streaming, waiting for things to go to streaming. Going to the cinema has lost its lost its luster in a lot of America today, and around the world, because more and more people were investing during the pandemic to bring cinema home, and all the companies kind of turned the compass that direction as well. Like, they really built up home cinema during the pandemic, and that investment from a lot of families and stuff has been taken in consideration from the industry. Because if you look at releases, information releases that come from like Warner Brothers, Universal Studios, and Netflix, and all of stuff, they publicize their business, results of the year, and what they plan to do, like some projections of what they plan to do. They actually make that public to people every year. And if you actually look at it, during the past ones, you could see their panic into the pandemic and how they were going to bring about streaming to kind of fix everything and try to keep things alive. Cinema did the same thing too. Most AMC, AMC theaters and really all the theaters that are out there, how they were going to try to pick up the pieces where people could not go out. And that's where like AMC, and I'm a huge AMC fan, sorry, but I am a big AMC fan. Their theaters had made apps and made movies available via their app as long as you paid the A-list. And so that was a huge thing that happened, huge successes out of it. People got awards out of it, which kept the industry alive. And there was a really good beat off of it. But unfortunately, it pulled a lot of that compass needle towards streaming and that dedication, because we at the time didn't know how long that pandemic was going to last, especially how damaging that pandemic was. We hadn't heard that kind of like devastation of a pandemic for a long time. At least once in my lifetime, we knew the H1 virus was out there. There was a claim of lives there, but before that was the flu. The flu pandemic in the early 1900s, and for us that was just like, that trauma had already lingered all the way into the 2000s, and so we were sitting there going, oh well, no, how are we supposed to survive this, and I think that knee-jerk reaction that we took had really pulled a lot of people away from cinema, because they had invested big TVs at home, entertainment systems galore, with surround sound being cheap and easy to install, and that over the years of the pandemic. And now it's kind of like, well, I invested all of this much, and now I've had to pay for all of these streaming networks, and I'm kind of comfortable in my own home since the distancing had gone into effect and changed culture a bit. What's the point of going to cinema? And I would argue that you should still go to cinema. So I am a huge fan of going to the cinema. There's something that you can't get at home unless you're a millionaire and built a theater in your home, and that theater experience. Even if you're not a millionaire and you have a family and you guys made your theater at home, there's still that going to the movies and not having it on demand that changes the experience. And I urge you guys to go out and try to see at least one movie a month. Attempt it. I mean, it's kind of rough because most places, if even by yourself, is around $50. That's, ticket being around $25 for an adult, at least here in California. And food, drinks, maybe a pre-show food and drink, like if you're not trying to eat too much inside of the theater. Some theaters have like restaurant style food that they'll bring out to you. So there's a lot that goes along with that experience, and a lot that could be around your area. A lot of theaters did shut down during the pandemic, and you may not have a theater near you. That was a big issue also when coming to streaming and streaming networks. So like definitely had point the needle in directions that for me, I still remember my first theater movie. And when I mean theater movie, not the drive-in, because I was much younger and I don't remember that drive-in experience. That was my first technical like theater experience, was a drive-in. But I was too little to know. I don't even remember what that movie was. But my father took me to my first theater performance. The movie was The Flintstones. That was my first experience of a movie inside of a theater, and that was an amazing experience. And I think from that point on, I was captivated. I wanted to go to more movies, and that was actually something that me and my father had a bonding moment over the years that we actually kind of connected over, was movies, whether it be going to Blockbuster and bringing something home, and or going to the theaters and watching something new, that being him and I's experience. Like I kind of wish I could go back to like my home state, and that'd be something that me and my father could do together, besides our love for weaponry and so forth like that, that we bond over. But really, I want to take my dad out to a movie the next time I visit home. So Dad, if you're watching, that's in this old cranium, is that the next time we come back home, we got to do like a full theater experience like we used to. My dad and I think my dad was the real biggest influence of theater, not movies in general or entertainment. That definitely came from not out of the unfortunates, but it was because I was with my mom most of the time. And my mom definitely made sure that there was a plethora of movies to choose from. And she definitely opened my eyes to behind the scenes of TV shows and movies and such like that got me interested in wanting to be in entertainment. And I would say what contributed to that was the biggest contributor to that was Grease. Grease was, with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. that performance is what drove me to want to work into the industry at some point, or be an entertainer. That was the biggest thing. I wanted to entertain from that point on whenever I saw Grease. The other things that got me into theater and cinema and all that kind of stuff was Back to the Future. Back to the Future was my ultimate. It was actually something that me and my ex-mother-in-law, we kind of bonded over that movie. And its series. We had a good moment of being able to watch that together in her living room in Japan, which was a pretty magical moment. But yeah, so the cinema has been huge in my life, and I try to bring some of that to my own children as well, and both my sons. And yeah, like you can see that I'm passionate about it. I love it. I think it's amazing. My father definitely bringing me to Flintstones, and in all the movies after that, because he also got into trying to get into different ways of experiencing theater and movies, and even at movies at home, when DivX came out and you could get DivX rent DVDs, and it comes to the apartment, and you can watch different movies from that point. And that was how he kind of spent his extra time when he was grinding away at his young age. But we used to go to Blockbuster. My dad and I had a routine of every time I went to go visit him, we would go to Blockbuster. We would choose 3 movies for the weekend that we would watch. And obviously, I had gotten stuck on a couple of movies that I'd watch every weekend with him. One of them was Fantasia. That, I think, really inspired me to be a musician, especially a cellist. That people don't know, I'm a tubinist and I'm a cellist and a trombonist. That was what I perfected in my youth. Not so much now. Like, if I picked up those instruments now, I would have to practice like months on end. I'd have to go and meet a coach and help get the chops back for the lips, and help get the the whole getting the hands right and getting the scales correct, and remembering the how to read music and such. I mean, I know how to read music, but at least associating that with the actual instrument itself, I'd have to do some practice. But those were my favorite instruments, and my band teachers were a huge inspiration to that too. But again, it all comes down to cinema and what I got from it as a kid. The wonders of it. I always wanted to do a behind the scenes. I always wanted to see, how did they make that movie? How did they get that scene so crisp? And I was always the one trying to ruin a scene too, trying to find the wire. Like, that's wire, string, I saw the string, or that's a boom mic, and that was always amazing. And I think yeah, Fantasia really got me into music and being a musician, and that's why Suno and enjoying making music with Suno has been so incredible, and in creating content for people, and the content that you guys are seeing here. So I've had a great ride. My entire experience in entertainment, and I do give it up to my parents. Thank you so much for investing that. What seamlessly is just pure entertainment for yourselves, but it inspired a young kid to become a fan of his own work and a fan of creating work for others. So I appreciate it. But yeah, movies can be amazing. So even if you flop, you can still have entertained a great amount of people. So for the people of the Masters of the Universe and their unfortunate not so good of an opening weekend, you still got a couple of weeks to go to kind of get that overall climb over your expectations. And it's just the weekend. There's always going to be a way to climb over it. And if you're wondering about what I was talking about before and you muted me, and finding out what I was talking about, why it's not really the end of Masters of the Universe at the current present moment, go and check out watching Masters of the Universe in the next couple of weeks coming up. But I think it will go to streaming. I think a lot of people are waiting for that streaming like we were talking about. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. I do want to talk about real quick in sports. My dad and I had an experience yesterday, and it happened to do with NASCAR. And I haven't watched NASCAR in a long time, and I'm sorry if this comes off brash, but that is seriously not the NASCAR I grew up in. I grew up knowing. Just for context, on my dad's side of the family, we actually were in stock car. We had our grandfather, my dad's step father, was a crew chief of a team, and they had a couple of cars, and stock car was really big in our family. And I remember growing up watching stock car, and being Dale Earnhardt fans and so forth. So every big family get together, we would watch NASCAR together, and so that was a big, huge part of our life. But NASCAR has kind of changed to a point where it's more demolition derby than it is actual racing, and the point systems and so forth like that are just ridiculous. And this, this restart stuff is kind of ridiculous. So, not to bash on too much on NASCAR, but yeah, I'm not sure about NASCAR these days. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys think about NASCAR? For those who are millennials, those who are working in the end, working class, what do you guys think? Like, has NASCAR, do you watch NASCAR, and what has left you not to desire to watch NASCAR if you don't desire to watch NASCAR? Or you used to watch NASCAR and now you don't, or you do watch NASCAR now. Maybe you like the way NASCAR is. What makes you like NASCAR? What draws your attention? I'd like to try to add a few other sports than basketball and baseball. And so that's why I was like paying attention this weekend to NASCAR. But yeah, again, I'm just like, I don't know. It was just bumper cars. And not to mention that there was this misunderstanding that I couldn't understand myself, where people were blaming a single driver for an incident that was not his fault, that we could all visually see it was not that driver's fault in a big crash. But because of who crashed, it was clear why people were upset and blaming the other individual, as because these were very fast cars. And these very fast cars, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. NASCAR is a stock car. NASCAR races are stock car races. These stock cars, they're stock cars. That you could have a powerful engine, but it should not be any more powerful, like highly more powerful than any of the other ones, because it has to be stock. I mean, there is intricate things of tuning that can help you be competitive over the others. And that is what wins races sometimes, is the tuning. But if you're telling me that you built a fast car and it is potentially a car that was modified, it's not NASCAR. And that's not the NASCAR I knew. So, yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to be following NASCAR. That was the only time that you and me and Mr. Coffee is probably going to talk about NASCAR for a long time. Not impressed with NASCAR nowadays. Too much demolition derby. Don't get me wrong, I'm a demolition derby fan, but not during NASCAR. Yeah, there's a distinct difference on why you're going to NASCAR. Just like people don't go to Formula One for demolition. They're going to Formula One to see those tight turn and like split-second decisions that require those fast cars and those high-performing cars to make. People go and watch Le Mans not to see crashes. They go to Le Mans to root on their favorite team and cars to win the endurance. You know, there's a race about it. But whenever I was watching NASCAR this weekend, it wasn't about the race. It literally is about like how aggressive somebody can be during the race, not winning. To hopefully win, but if you're back in the back, you're trying to bump and grind with people, and I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and stop, complaining, but yeah, it's kind of like why we're not gonna be following any NASCAR updates. So apologies, but we are going to talk about something. We're gonna go from a negative and go to a positive, and a close one. The Knicks game, that was close, and like put a lot of people on the edge of their seat. 105-104, Knicks take game 2 by 1 point. That was intense, and people in the city are feeling electric over it. It has been a huge buzz. I think New York has been shouting, Knicks' name, the Knickerbockers, like through every rooftop and cheering their favorite team and seeing them win over win game 2 over the Spurs. So that's amazing. Great job to the Knicks getting game 2. We're not at the end though. We're not at the end. We still gotta we still got a few more to go, but that's amazing. 4 games. We're already going into game 3. Game 3 is set to be I didn't put that down. Today at 5:30 p.m. my time, so 8:30 Eastern, anywhere in between there. So if you guys are trying to catch that. I mean, it's a big game. I highly suggest you to go see Knicks versus the Spurs. It's gonna be on ESPN, but it's supposed to be all right. So ESPN, Fubo, Hulu Live, Sling TV, and YouTube TV. They're all gonna be broadcasting the Spurs at Knicks tonight. So definitely get the watch in. I'm gonna watch it. I'm literally going to take time out today, and I'm gonna watch this game. Game 3. Game number 3 with 2-0 Knicks. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm rooting for you. I really wish you guys the best of luck. So definitely you, me, and Mr. Coffee is on Team Knicks side during this. But yeah. I kind of, let me get a second here. I had a, where is it? I was talking to a friend this past week, and we also were talking about the World Cup, FIFA World Cup. Now, my team in the World Cup is America and Japan. So I'll be rooting for both United States and I keep saying America. I want to first start my apology with saying there's a lot of American teams out there if anybody wants to know my perspective, USA is not the only American country. Canada is an American country. Mexico is an American country. All of Central America is an American country. So forth like that. Even South America, you're all American countries. And you're all American. And I do root for American countries in FIFA. So for the World Cup, when I say America, I'm Ecuador, El Salvador. Oh no, I think it's only Ecuador. Mexico. I'm rooting for US. I'm rooting for Canada. I'm rooting for pretty much everybody in that stuff. So I'm going to be in you guys' corner, but USA is going to be my top team for the out of the American teams. So hey, good luck America, and good luck Japan. Japan's always been a favorite team of mine. They do try to step it up every year. And we'll see who in the World Cup. This starts June 11th with 48 teams. And I think, let me pull up the current World Cup schedule, because I don't think anything's changed. So in Group A, we have Mexico and South America, and South Korea and Chechnya, and that is going to be on June 11th. So those are the two games that are going to be on June 11th, on the starting day. And it's showing that it's going to be, the first game is at noon, and the second game is going to be at 7. That's Pacific time, so adjust for it. So it should be 3 and 10 p.m. 3 p.m. for Mexico and South America. North Korea and Chechnya is going to be at 8 p.m. on the eastern coast, 12 and 7 p.m. on the Pacific coast. So that'll be Group A. That'll be on the 11th. On the 12th is Group B and D, not C. Group B and D. So that's Canada and Bosnia, and USA and Paraguay. That's going to be one. So I'm definitely this Friday going to be watching the USA game or matchup. And so that's going to be 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. So it's going to be a little bit earlier on that Friday. So Thursday, it's going to be 12 and 7, 12 and 6 for Group B and D. And then we have another Group B that's going to be playing on Saturday. Their matchup is Qatar and Switzerland, Brazil and Morocco. And that will be Saturday. I don't think there's a Sunday game. Is there a Sunday game? There is a Sunday matchup. I'm actually... I totally forgot. There's two Group C and Group D. So there's a huge matchup that is going to be going on Saturday. Huge matchup. There's going to be 4 that's going to be matched up on Saturday for the World Cup. So you have Qatar and Switzerland, that's at 12 p.m. Then you have Brazil and Morocco at 3 p.m. You might get a run over, so bear with them. If the Qatar and Switzerland game matchup actually goes over, depending on who's watching on what channel, you might miss out on the beginning of Brazil and Morocco. But Brazil and Morocco is going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific. And then Group C is another Group C, which is Haiti and Scotland. They're going to be in a matchup at 6 p.m. And then Group D, which is Australia and Turkey, they're going to be finishing off the day on Saturday at 9 p.m. So a late game for them, but a really good matchup there, Australia and Turkey. That's gonna be one to watch. Brazil as well. That's another one to watch. Switzerland seems to have a good team this year, so there's Group B having another contender, Canada and Switzerland. Bosnia has not been actually thought about, as well as Qatar. Well, no, actually Qatar Qatar has two players now that have been kind of like worldwide, uh, been been in the world news. So that's something to definitely be looking into. And then we have Sunday, which is another 4-part matchup. That's one I'm going to be watching as well on Sunday, which is going to be Group E at 10 a.m. So an earlier one to go. That's going to be Germany and Curacao. I think that's how you say it, Curacao. And then at 1 p.m., it's going to be Netherlands and Japan. So Netherlands and Japan is what I'm going to be watching. So after that, it's going to be Group E, which is Ivory Coast and Ecuador. I might catch that one for sure. I do kind of want to see how Ecuador does this year. They have a pretty decent team coming out of there, so it'll be kind of cool to see where Ecuador pulls out. And then after them at 7 p.m. on Sunday is going to be Sweden against Tunisia. And then we're going to be heading into the new week, and what we'll do is we'll do a coverage on that Monday. We'll talk a little bit of how the World Series is going to be doing then, right? We'll cover a little bit about the World Series, the World Cups, not the World Series, the World Cup, FIFA World Cup. We'll see on this Friday's You, Me, and Mr. Coffee. We'll cover a little bit of that, of how the teams are doing up to that point, because we're going to have Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, Czechia, Canada, Bosnia, USA, and Paraguay. I feel like the Animaniacs when I'm trying to like talk about these. So we'll already have Group A matchup on Thursday to talk about in the morning. That's Mexico and South Africa's matchup, and South Korea and Czechia. And then we're gonna be like rooting for our teams coming for Canada and Bosnia and US and Paraguay. So we'll go over this matchup for the weekend. Come Friday's show of You, Me, and Mr. Coffee. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Football is a really fun, or for us United States guys, soccer is a fun experience. I like watching it. I've always liked watching it, especially whenever I was out serving with the Brits, alongside the Brits, in Afghanistan. We would watch. We had a good time watching some of the Premier League that was out there, and I became a really big fan of Chelsea while I was out in Afghanistan. So thanks for the guys that I served out in Afghanistan for turning me to football. I appreciate it very much. World football. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where that turns out too. So, FIFA World Cup kicks off Thursday. The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts June 11th, hosted across U.S., Canada, and Mexico with 48 teams. The biggest sporting event on the planet. The opening match is in just a few days, so make sure that you get over to it. If you haven't made your bracket picks list yet, Thursday is coming up fast, so you might want to pick your teams pretty quickly, especially if you're doing fantasy. If you're doing like football fantasy, yeah, you might want to get your teams and your parties together. And ensure that you guys enjoy a good filled weekend coming up. I guess it's going to charge us this weekend. Some of the sports that are going on, that's you can't hate it. All these sports that kind of leading up into a good weekend coming up. So hopefully that gets us through the week a little bit faster. All right. You go ahead and enjoy your work. I hope that no, it's okay. I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for chatting in the show. It's been really engaging. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. A couple of things that we can kind of pull back into, and I kind of I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little foggy head at the moment. And not my sinuses are starting to like feel it too. Sorry for being a little under the weather today, like I said in the very beginning. And it's really starting to hit a little bit right now as we're continuing to talk. I may have to switch from coffee to water today. Not gonna be exciting. But yeah, definitely get into the rest of this show. A couple of movies. Let's go back to movies real quick. I know that we jumped over to sports. That's actually going to be the final thing I'm going to talk about sports during today's show. We're not going to talk about sports for the rest of the show, but what we are going to keep in mind, a lot of talk of the past couple of weeks that we've been doing our show. We've been following the Tonys, the CMAs, so those awards shows that have been coming around, the movies that have been coming out, and some of the music that has been literally been going around, especially like the Governor's Ball. I kind of tapped on that for a second. Because I really wasn't sure how it was going to be. The Governor's Ball wrapped up in New York City during the weekend, and Lorde had delivered a massive headline set. Huge. And it was a huge comeback for her and her group, and that was amazing. So if you got to catch any of that celebration, wow, like that was huge. And especially A$AP Rocky brought that New York energy for sure. Everybody can attest to that A$AP Rocky really came out and really pumped everybody up and got everything going. Also, Stray Kids showed up, which I want to put that out there. K-pop, for those K-pop fans, which is a crossover to mainstream and American festivals, is fully complete. So Stray Kids, congratulations, way to go to bring yourself on that stage and perform, and everybody had a great time there. But you know, Lorde headlining the Governor's Ball in 2026 feels like a victory lap after years being away. The crowd sang every word back. That's the sign of a real artist. People hold on to your music even when you're gone. So great job, Lorde. Way to go on a fantastic set, and we look forward to seeing where you're going to go forward. If you're going to be producing a lot more during this time, we'll definitely keep an eye out for all of the Lorde productions or Lorde productions in the future. We'll see where she goes from this. The CMA Festival wrapped up in Nashville with Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, Lainey Wilson, and more, with a lot of those free stages. I'd really like to see what you guys, if anybody had went out to that festival during in Nashville during last weekend. Let me know how it was. Tell me down in the comments down below. Let me know how you guys enjoyed that festival. If you were new to country music or going to a country music festival or not seeing anything country music wise on live, and you were there, what was your experience like? How did you, what did you enjoy about it? I'd like to see how you guys came to the music and enjoyed it. There was a lot of things that happened there. There was packed crowds. The whole city was a concert venue that people could enjoy, and just really a way to celebrate country music entirely. We also talked about the Tonys with Pink hosting the Tony Awards, which is, live stage performance. Broadway had a big night. The 79th Tony Awards, annual Tony Awards, happened on Sunday. Pink hosted her Broadway debut as a host. And so we had big winners. We had Schmigadoon. I don't know how to say that. Won Best New Musical. Schmigadoon. I really haven't followed what Schmigadoon was, and I'm not gonna lie, I only caught highlights of this because I was just so kind of busy with the website. But it's the musical town where every day is a musical. Everybody has a song for everything, and the only bridge out of town leads to nowhere. So it's a really good experience as far as taking a new step in modern and past societal. And I would say, by what I saw and the fact that they got an award from this year's Tony, they received a Tony, it's worth the watch. I know if I had the opportunity, I would go. A lot of people have said that they can relate to a lot of the characters inside the show. So if you're big on live stage performances, Schmigadoon, I really hope I'm not butchering that. I'm very sorry if I did. But that won their Oscar for Best New Musical. Death of a Salesman swept 6 awards last night, which is huge. But it's been like shouted across the wavelengths these past few months on being such a successful performance. Liberation won Best Play, and Ragtime had a real big night as well. John Lithgow had also won. And Pink hosting the Tony Awards is a crossover nobody asked for and somehow completely worked. She had 0 Broadway credentials and absolutely owned the room. So great job on Pink. I'm actually a really big Pink fan. I went to see her in concert a few years back in the SoFi Stadium here in California, in Los Angeles. And I'd have to show you the highlight reels of what I saw in that performance if I can, because she is a heck of a performer. We also seen Alanis Morissette show up that night. We had some really powerful females in the rock industry show up on that stage that night, and it was electrifying. And Pink has always been one of those rebellious singers that I've enjoyed growing up. As for female artists, she really blows it out of the water, and to see her go and host the Tonys, fantastic. Great job for every performer and all the performances that won Tonys that night. Congratulations, as well as for Pink for hosting such a great show that night. Good job. Way to go. So we've kind of like talked backrooms a bit as well, just to kind of put a little bit of a conversational piece out there. Tell me what you guys think down below. I just kind of skimmed through it whenever I'm going through my list of topics here. I totally forgot to mention about backrooms with movies. So if there was something about the backrooms that I could real quickly mention, we've talked about how it's grossed so much over even the weekend was $25 million for the weekend, and it's already in its second week. And Kane Parsons being 20 years old, we're beating that to death. Coming from YouTube to actually big screen is really what we hope as small creators and independent creators, we hope to one day achieve, is bring our creations to a heightened or elevated position at some point. Even for me, this show, You, Me, and Mr. Coffee, I have ambitions to bring it into great big spaces. I do hope to have this as a full production show where you see a set of hosts kind of talk about topics of the weekend and so forth, and bring it into as a talk show between community and myself. That's the kind of direction and goal that we want here, beyond YouTube, or even to stay in YouTube, and be on YouTube TV and wherever those spaces produce this. And you guys get to see that journey as we're still in our infancy. We're only in season 1, and this season's going to be amazing. We're going to be going all the way until the end of the year, and I think that it's going to be a fun-filled adventure for the both of us. And just like him, I really want to see You, Me, and Mr. Coffee really succeed, and it'll take you to do it. The viewers of yourself, make sure that you tell other people about our show and bring them here to see it at 6 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. East Coast is at 9 a.m. is when we start, and we try to push it to 3 hours. And it all depends on how quickly we get through some of the content. So we may stop a little bit early, depending on if we ran through all of the news and everybody is currently, working hard and unable to kind of like engage with the chat at the time, and no reason to linger. So our shows could be a little bit shorter. So if you're intending to kind of catch the show at the very end, that's not a good strategy. Make sure that you're here at the very beginning when we start and launch off, and tell everybody about it. Really, bring people here. I keep on saying that word of mouth is one thing, but word of mouth only works if you bring the horse to the water. So definitely tell people about it, but then invite them in to experience it with you, experience this show with you, and that's going to help us grow in the end. So kind of why I wanted to mention what I mentioned. But yeah, this show is actually launching and going off in great directions. I look at my analytics, and we're getting better and better traction every day that we have it. So I appreciate it. It is really showing that your guys' enthusiasm in our show is making great strides for where we can take this show in the future. So thank you so much. That is a heartfelt thank you from me to you guys, and I'm really excited to see where we take You, Me, and Mr. Coffee. So going back to music, and so we can finish off our music set. Vince Staples with Cry Baby, already an album of the year contender. Reviews continue to pour in for Vince Staples' Cry Baby, his first independent album. Live instrumentals, politically charged, critics across the board are calling it his best work. And we talked a little bit about it on Friday, but more or less this weekend kind of showed that more people are interested in his album as well, in all that he really has to say during that. Multiple publications are already putting it on album of the year list. Vince Staples left his record label and immediately made what people are calling his best album yet. The independent era is producing some of the most honest music in years because artists aren't optimizing for labels anymore. And you are actually seeing that. I really wanted to touch on this because before, and it's interesting because I have Capitol Records across the street from me. Not to, name drop, but I have Capitol Records. Their building is right across, and it's iconic. And I grew up, you heard different labels, Def Jam, Capitol Records, Disney, for all those different ones. But all these labels, that was pretty much the only way that you could be successful. But with media today and how media is going, you could be an independent artist and feel comfortable with it because it's about gathering the attention of the audience versus having an audience already there purchasing from a brand. That's what labels helped build a lot of people in making that connection and helping kind of franchise it. Well, a lot of people are like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be locked into somebody who's going to take half my fortunes and take my community and abuse them. And that has been an outcry from a lot of artists for the past decade, where they were feeling like what they were doing wasn't passionate anymore. It was more of a job, going to 9 to 5, but for them was performing on stage. Now that these independents are going on with these artists, people becoming independent and producing for themselves, I mean, some can argue that say that Vince Staples also wouldn't have had that kind of following if the label that he was a part of, if that group didn't have that stability in the beginning, he wouldn't actually have been able to do much of sales so far and having an album of the year, potentially, as has been marketed. But the interest as an independent and people following after him, not because of the label release, but non-label release and the independence of it, but actually what he has to say in the album. So independent artists are actually gaining the attention with millions of views for people like Tom McDonald or even Taylor Swift. And when she made her own label and had produced her own music and gaining her own independence, she became a huge world icon from that point on. She was not just one of the stars. She became the diva icon. Can we actually call Taylor Swift a diva? But still, like, becoming independent and being an independent artist has proven a lot less of a dependency on labels and more of a dependency on brand culture. And today, I think it's really what it comes down to is people don't want just a broad broad branding of things to be a part of that have multiple sects underneath it. They kind of want to just hold close to something that feels meaningful and attached to a single person. That kind of builds that aspect a bit. And I kind of agree with it. I think, Taylor Swift is a really good experience of that. You have also these up-and-coming artists that came up through the soundtrack looping development of DJs and so forth like that. A lot of people coming up and not going to a specific brand label. But then you have plenty of people out there that had made great success by being part of a label, or even just started off building a label and having a label kind of culminate together with more artists that went under its umbrella. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that it's better for them to be under a label, or do you think that the independence movement is really the better choice here? That we might be seeing the end of labels and more into not independent, but more into artist centric, like really everything falling under the artist itself, that major brand, whether it be the band as the brand itself, or the lone artist like Aurora or Taylor Swift or even Vince Staples. So Vince, way to go. You're heading in the right direction. I hope everything goes good. The independent era is producing some of the most honest music in years, because artists aren't optimizing for a label. They're not helping build the brand of the label. They're building the art that they are passionate about. And so I think that's the kind of move that people are going in. And I think the mass public is following it. If you agree with me, please put it down in the comments down below. If you don't agree with me, put it down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about that specifically. I really would like to see what you guys think about it. But Taylor Swift, talking about Taylor Swift, and actually making a song that's going to be in the minds of children for a long time with Toy Story 5. She's gunning for it with I Knew It, I Knew You. I think is going to be the song that's going to be what wins her an Oscar. And I think it's going to go beyond that. So far, a lot of people have been buzzing around this move and this song that may or may not become culturally iconic, as we've had over the years with a lot of songs that have come through with Toy Story, with her being and coming back to her country side of things. So her original roots. Critics are already building the Oscar narrative for this as well. Like a lot of media has been kind of promoting that Toy Story 5 not only being one of probably the best Toy Stories ever made, but also just having music that is associated that gets us back to the original Toy Story feel, that feeling that we always enjoy when we watch it, the draw in. She's going from Tim McGraw, was that song that really made a huge hit in her country career, and now bringing back with I Knew It, I Knew You. I just think the timing is almost too perfect. 20th anniversary of that single's debut, and you're coming out with a blowout. I honestly believe Taylor Swift, since her independence, has her marketing team has really planned her life out. I honestly believe they're on the beat. If you want to know about a marketing and PR team that is on Taylor Swift pulse, it's them. They are strategically placing her in the perfect positions to make the most out of her career, as well as the giving and producing to the public what they want, what they actually desire in being entertained. And this is really great. I think Toy Story 5 and her being able to put something into the music industry from that is where people want to kind of etch themselves. I mean, it's great. And even then, Toy Story 5, which we haven't been talking too much about Toy Story 5. as we're leading up to it, I didn't write this stuff down, but this is a highly anticipated sequel, and it's directed by Andrew Stanton, obviously from Pixar. Follows Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and the rest of the gang as they face their biggest challenge yet: modern electronics, and what kids are obsessed with today. And that actually comes out this month on June 19th. So it'll be interesting to see what we, go ahead and check all the trailers on this. But yeah, this is because when we last left off with Toy Story 4, we got left with the separation, and a lot of people had like separation anxiety between our two favorite characters. Like, what are we to do there? And now that they're coming back for Toy Story 5, and we're going to be seeing a reunion of sorts and seeing where it goes from there, I'm excited to see it. I really wish I could enjoy that with my sons this month. But I hope you guys do. Definitely get an opportunity, bring family together, even if you are not young anymore, not that young anymore. I think since we've grown up with this iconic movie series, everybody, even adults, are going to want to see it. So get out there on June 19th to go watch Toy Story 5. Don't hesitate, just do it. Get to that movie. And let's see where Taylor Swift goes with having I Knew It, I Knew You, and how that fits in also with the movie. I'm kind of excited to see. I kind of see where that falls into the movie. We've got about an hour and 15 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and take a real quick break. We're going to have a small intermission. I just need to kind of like take a small break. I'm going to get some more coffee, maybe. No, actually, I'm unfortunately, I'm going to be done with the coffee. I think I need water. I think I need a little bit of water this morning. Yeah, with me not feeling so good. Me not feel so good. Me need more water. And so, and we'll get back into it. We'll be talking about a few new TV series to be looking out for. A few more movies to be looking out for. Millie Alcock's debut as Supergirl opens on June 26th this year. So there's so many things that are going on. Supergirl coming out and really having a great effect on the movie industry. And we got a couple of things that we want to talk about when it comes to TV or series that could be coming up. We've got just a little bit over an hour to go, but we're going to take a short break. I'm going to give my throat a break a little bit. And we'll continue into the next hour, so stay tuned. Keep sticking around, and go grab a fresh cup of coffee, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you. Hey everybody, and sorry if you guys were hearing all the that was going on in the background while I was taking a real quick break. I needed a real quick break to grab some water. I'm gonna finish up my coffee, but then I'm gonna finish up with some water as well for the rest of the show. But I was just checking up on the website. We did go live. Just want to remind everybody, we did go live with the new website build. So that is live, but unfortunately, before you guys head right into it, we've run into a problem with the sign in again. So still working on it, but as we're continuing to go on, I'm getting a diagnostic being ran by my AI agents. They're currently working on where that goes. But yeah, we're close. Some of the things that I wanted to get working and available. Now, not every bit of it is functional at the moment. I had to cut some production out and progress out. Yeah, and I'm getting a full diagnostic right now showing a lot of red. Oh, okay. So we've got some things. Yeah, we got a lot of site crashes that are currently going on. So a little one side of the job that I do here with Inside of our studio is getting these things developed, and the site and the interaction that we get into the site. So not just you, me, and Mr. Coffee being the only production that we have here. We have my gaming show that goes on Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's another production that we have. We also have the Outer Exodus project that is currently going in to full swing production, coming soon. As soon as we can kind of get some of the financing ironed out, then we can get right back to building more content for the Outer Exodus, and you get to follow along on our website. So make sure that you do come to our website. I'll post it here in a second after the diagnosis goes in place. I have been informed. So I just as like a dev update real quickly to everybody here. I'm going to put chat over there for real quick so I can get a good see. So currently I'm having API issues and user issues. So for profile and so forth, stuff like that. And we have like a login broken issue with that. So diagnosis goes good. We're good. And we have, unfortunately, we have duplicate page routes that need to be cleaned up. Easy thing. I could probably just prompt the AI to do that right now. It's asking me if it wants to fix, if it wants me to have it fix those issues. We're gonna actually see. We're gonna actually see if we want to do that. These, and this is real time. This is me working on this. I kind of want to take a good little gander at some of these things that it does. Okay. Okay, so it does have like the fixes that I'll put into that. Those locations, those should have been already in the file. These are errors that should have been in existence. So we'll see. So yeah, we'll see what we're gonna do with this real quickly. I'm gonna go with we're gonna apply all of those fixes. See if that creates the solution. Actually, I want one of the other agents to confirm the agent that's been doing that. So hold on. Sorry to put a little bit of dead air here. But this is important. I really want to get this in your guys' hands today. Before the show ends. We got less than an hour to go, and just to show that I'm actively working on our website and building it and trying to get it to work and trying to bring that content to you, because it's also going to be a place where you're going to be able to see you, me, and Mr. Coffee at your fingertips. The idea is that the website will intentionally be an app that you can download later that's part of everything CyberAddicts Studios can produce, so you could every bit of your CyberAddicts experience at your hand. Even our future TV series when we create it, actual digital copies of our comic and graphic novel that you'll be able to have at your hand when you purchase the actual physical copy. So the idea is whenever you guys see us in a convention in the future with the Outer Exodus project, like comic book, you'll be able to scan the QR code that's inside of it, and that digital copy will be on your phone or tablet, wherever you want it. It'll be in your app that you'll be able to take with you on all your platform devices and be able to enjoy reading it on the go. So you're not having to, you only have to scan the QR code and you can keep it in mint condition on a shelf somewhere, and you know, some people like collecting, so it's an option that's out there. Okay, so that's happening. That's doing its thing. Let's get back to the show. And a few things that we would like to finish off talking about. I started with talking about how Supergirl, that's coming out soon on June 26th. I'm actually excited. Now, this is going to be a series. Oh, my knee. That is, that I'm excited to see where that comes out. Sorry for the pinging there. Yeah, like Millie Alcock is going from being from House of Dragons to Supergirl. Honestly, I saw the trailer and I saw a little snippet of her performance and like the whole the interaction, and I'm excited. I like this franchise, by the way, of Superman. A great change, I feel. I don't know how you guys feel about this version of the Superman franchise, and then also bringing Supergirl out and her the experience of that, of her coming to Earth and that experience. But it's a breath of fresh air. I honestly think it's going in the right direction. I'm wanting to put my attention towards this, and then in June 26th it opens up. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy that as well. Are you like growing up, Superman, Superwoman, and Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman, so like huge fan of the Justice League and everything that came part of. Who are you guys? Actually, here's a good debate to be having down in the comments below. And if you're in the chat, go ahead and put your, what you guys think too. Who are you who are you a fan of? Who's your number one? Who do you think is the best superhero? Is it Superman, Superwoman, Wonder Woman, Batman, or you even think Robin might be one? Is the Teen Titans better than the Justice League? I mean, I'd like to see the debates going on in this week, like really, and we'll come back to it on Friday. But I kind of want to see you guys' opinion, like, besides the DC versus Marvel. Out of that, just in the DC universe, who do you think is the best superhero? Is it the Flash? Is it Aquaman even? Like, who out of everybody definitely outplays them all? Like, I really would like to see it. Remember to make sure that you're keeping your comments friendly. I want to keep putting that out there. I'm a person of healthy actions online, especially being that we are people who like to have our electronics at arm's reach, and also our technology, not technology, but our interactions in the cyber world right in front of us. So be healthy, encourage what people are saying and have a healthy debate, but don't need to call anybody names. Don't need to do that. All right. Even if your banter is that brash, be courteous to others and be respectful. Like, just don't be a jerk. Yeah. It's called customs and courtesies. Practice them, And for those of you who are going, why is he overemphasizing on that? You know who you are. Just don't do it. we want to be healthy and happy here and enjoying the content together. We don't need to roast somebody because they believe in something different than you are. We're not those type of people here. That's not our type of community. So do not hesitate. We want people to talk in the comments below. We want you guys to talk to each other. We guys want you to interact, and knowing that you're coming there with respect towards each other, that's important and vital, especially to our young group that is coming in. They may not have as much knowledge and experience as you guys, but they're here to gain that knowledge. Make sure you guys are friendly and talking in the comments down below. We want that environment. But this is a good one. I really think, and I think I'll also put it up on the site as one of the topics. There's going to be a forum section, and I'll put up on the forum section, hey, DC Universe, who's your favorite? And then the other one is, are you Team Teen Titans or are you Team Justice League? Like, I really love Teen Titans. I'm a Teen Titan fan. I loved the way they did that. I liked how they got Robin and Sunfire and Raven and Beast Boy and Cyclops or Cyborg. It's not Cyclops, my bad. Cyborg. The animated series. There's another one. Which is better, the animated series or the cartoony animated series? There was definitely a much more broody and mood centric anime, and then there was definitely the cartoony type anime, the very cutesy kids Cartoon Network anime, Teen Titans, and they both really did well. I liked it. So that's me. So I do not know what that was, if you guys heard it, but that was a loud boom in our center. Like somebody dropped something heavy. And I'm not sure if it was up above me. Again, usually around this time, the center is really opening up to a lot of the people here. So, definitely going to hear a lot of stuff. All right, I gotta see. Okay, so let me get this really quickly. Sorry for the dead air, but the site is taking kind of a little bit of a priority today. I do apologize. So give this to Simon. And so Simon for our community is our AI that is our IT. Pretty much everything to do with the website and the designing of the website and so forth is through multiple of our AI agents that I'm using to kind of like pull apart and focus specifically on certain things, because that's what you do with AI, is you develop it into a mindset. And so Simon is our IT tool. So coding and all that kind of stuff is really the purpose of Simon. Okay, so So yeah, so Simon is definitely working on that, and we'll be able to get those pages fixed, and we can get the site up and running. If you do actually access the site now, you'll see some of the new features and imagery that is on the site. And if you're watching this later, it should be fixed. If it is not, bear with us. You see that I'm actively working on it today, and it's going to go in there. It's very, I will say this, it is very rudimental at the moment, but it's an ongoing process. It's definitely a work in progress, and getting it developed. I ran out of credits last night, and I went as hard as I could, and I ran out of credits on base 44 last night. That's how far we took it. And once I ran out of credits, and I had to wait for today to get the credits again to be able to attack these issues. And fortunately enough, at 6 o'clock this morning is whenever those credits refreshed. So we kind of got into it. There's a couple of things that I need to work on, especially on the first page. There's just the solid black background. I definitely want to change that up. I do have a background for it. We just didn't implement it because I was more focused on trying to get the animations right, to enter, and the door to open up and you to see the background part of it. The framing and the sign up and everything like that, that's all going to change. That's just placeholders currently right now. And then you could go to the guest page and you can see bits of the information about what direction we're going, and you, me, and Mr. Coffee broadcasts for Gaming with EXO, and those will be clickable. It'll take you directly to the shows in the member area, but for the guests who get there. So if you go to the guest side, you can kind of see a bit of the information and a call to action to a lot of different things. There's a whole lot of information to go there, and a way to kind of bring people around to supporting the studio in the creation of our IPs. So there's that too. And you'll see, like, there's artifacts all over the place that need to be cleaned up. Especially our logo is broken in some places. It's getting there. It's getting there. But we definitely have some direction that needs to be taken and fixes that need to be done. Like, even our tracker needs to be fixed. And connectors for those trackers. Having a website is fun and fun to build, but at the same time is very big brained. Big brained. But some of the content, so we're going to talk about a lot of the content during this last hour of what I'm intending to bring to you with the website and our community, and where we're heading in the direction. And there's going to be a bigger dev vlog that is going to be put out tomorrow, early morning. So I'll be doing that first thing in the morning, is doing that dev vlog about our website, with Discord, about the IP and our progress moving forward, some threats to the IP that have just kind of recently surfaced. And we'll talk about all those things in my devlog tomorrow, and you'll be able to access that devlog when you create a membership. Not your membership, I need to stop saying membership. When you create your member profile on our website. So I'm going to go ahead and put the website, the main page, the starting page. I'm going to put it here. By the end of the show, hopefully, we'll have that available to you guys. I just posted it inside the chat, and I'm pinning it right now for the rest of the show. You can at least see we're making the efforts. It's getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, so the site is coming together. Checking back with Simon real quick. No, he's still working. So needing to kind of wait for that to kind of go through. Hopefully with all these oh, maybe done. Okay, so he wants me to go to each one of those locations and input the new codes specifically and then publish. Save and publish. Okay. So we're getting there. I think profile first, then dev track, then hub, then dev tracker. I think that's important. I think that's the important pathway moving forward. Because it wants me to change hub profile tracker, or hub tracker profile. But the issue was profile. Lots of things to talk about while moving forward with this, but I need to be able to do two things at once. Continue on our show and talk about our product, but at the same time be able to accomplish getting you guys that, getting you guys that website. I really want to get you guys that website in your hands. I've been promising it since the 28th, and it's already the 8th. So we are way overdue. And I do apologize for that. We're 11 days overdue, and I'm getting it done. We're finally at the tail end. I feel comfortable with how we're moving forward. So please, by all means, stick with me on this one. We'll take this all the way to the end. We got about 38 minutes left of our show, and it's going to be centric about this website. Seeing that it's coming together and we're ready to implement it. And ready to get it in your guys' hands and actively start producing things with inside of it, inside the member area, inside the hub, inside the member hub. If you aren't already, you can also join our Discord at the Cyber Addicts community. That's also a capability. And you can get access to that Discord soon. Whenever you go to the website, there should be information on our Discord and how to obtain it, but you really don't, after this point, need to always go to that content there. A couple of things that are Discord oriented that's going to be integrated and injected into the hub is live chats that are coming from the Discord and from you. So the Discord will be able to receive chats from you, and you'll be able to receive chats from Discord on the actual chat frame. We have to integrate it still. That takes some time. That took a lot of credits to build. We now have to take some credits to be able to implement it this month, and that's going to be vital. So you'll be able to talk to an expansive community while being on the website, and it'll be labeled. So it'll say Discord and who is talking and what they're saying, and then in Discord it will say it'll say like hub site or something like that. We still have to find the nomenclature for that, but it'll say website user blah 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 and your quote that comes from the site, so you guys can be able to use both places out and check on each other wherever you are enjoying content at that time. Why is Discord going to be important? Discord is where I'm also going to put exclusive live content that I'm going to be producing. So if you're going to want to talk directly to me during You, Me, and Mr. Coffee, it will be in Discord. And that's a future thing. That's not a now thing. But in the future, you'll be able to do a couple of integrated things that are there. You're going to be able to watch me on the website in the member hub live on You, Me, and Mr. Coffee, on the You, Me, and Mr. Coffee section. But you're not going to have as many interactive tools on the site as you would in Discord. So it's definitely a different set of experience. What do you want to experience and how you want to experience? You're going to get a lighter feel on the website versus the heavier feel inside the Discord. That's kind of how it goes. The other things that are really great about the website is the integrations that we're going to have not only across all the platforms, but being able to watch all the videos and the dev blog updates, because that's not going to, The devlogs are not going to be on Discord. They're going to only be on our website in the hub. So anything that we're doing development wise, whether it be with a website, with a Discord, with the community as a whole, or the IP of things that we create in the future, new productions like live productions and so forth like that, the development of those live productions, where we're heading in the future with those, that's going to be in the dev updates. But the Outer Exodus project in whole is going to be in those spaces. So instead of Discord, it's going to be on the website. So you kind of get a little bit of something that you won't get in either direction. So you'll get something in Discord that you won't get on the website, and you'll get what on the website what you don't get in the Discord. But you're going to have some things that are going to be on both, like funny, because it's funny, because it's cool, and because it's cute, and because it's creepy. Those are very popular on Discord right now, so their posts will definitely be seen inside of our website, and the same vice versa. Whatever you post on the website, and those specific ones is because it's funny, because it's cool, because it's creepy, because it's cute. Those are is what you have when you're doom scrolling, when you're coming across a really funny, short, or you come across a really cute short, creepy short, or maybe it was really cool. You can be able to post it. You copy the URL, and on those specific ones, you'll just input it in there, and people can go and do that. And here's the coolest thing. If you do it enough, the people that watch what you're watching and what you watch what they're watching, your guys' analytics will start to kind of mash up a little bit, and you'll be able to kind of integrate with the rest of the community that way. Believe it or not, the analytics and how your algorithm works with YouTube and other, not just YouTube, but TikTok and so forth, doing that and seeing what people are looking at and what they see what you're looking at, you guys kind of start to mesh together, and your content will start to arrive at the same, and they'll be like, yeah, I watched that just a couple of minutes ago, I can't believe it, I thought that was funny too, I was almost ready to post it. And it's another way to kind of become part of the community as a whole and kind of do things as a community together. So it's one of my favorite things that I created in the Discord, and I think you guys would enjoy it too. So that's coming soon in upcoming developments in this month. So yeah, a little bit of like this last hour is more like a dev update on where I'm taking content, but it is where we're going. So it did finally complete that, and I need to put that in the profile section. So I need to put in a code. I'm checking it right now, checking to see if there's like any artifacts, because I kind of ran into some of that, and I had to change some of the verbiage in the code, especially when it came to Yumi and Mr. Coffee. Somehow for some reason the AI changed Yumi and Mr. Coffee into your mother's something, and I don't want to repeat entirely everything, but it was not Yumi and Mr. Coffee as a title. And so I had to jump in there really quickly and fix that before anything. So I do read most of the coding really rapidly, really fast. You can kind of like look through anything that's like off to the side of the screen is just a build construct, but you can kind of see where it's doing. I've learned a lot about coding doing this and building my own website through Base 44. I've learned a lot. If you would like to know anything about me, surprisingly enough, I'm a kinesthetic learner. I really like learning the depths of something by reverse engineering, or just like kind of forcefully hand touching something and taking it apart and learning the intricacies. My first time ever understanding that I'm a kinesthetic learner, and how you can kind of pick out a kinesthetic learner when in being young, in your kid, is they like taking the ink pen apart. That's a really good way to find a kinesthetic learner, is people who, as soon as they get something, They want to take it apart. They want their engineers, and they like taking things apart and building things, and they like to see how things are made and created and work and function, and then they put it all back together, and they will use whatever that is to its full extent, to its best capabilities. That was the same way with when I would put my hands on a car engine, and I was the same way whenever I was working in the fire service. I actually could read all about it, but it took me actually going out there, getting a nozzle in my hand, and applying the fundamentals of suppression with water, or saturation with water, and so forth like that. All the different elements of extinguishment, and really seeing for myself the fire tetrahedron falling apart. Yeah, I definitely grew up as a kinesthetic learner. And I have a fun time doing it. And honestly, this is the greatest thing. And I always say this: if you don't love what you do, it's not worth doing. You know, you need to do what you love, what you're passionate about. And okay, I don't know what that was, but the entire building just shook. I'm going to have to end the show. I do not know what that was, but the entire building just shook. Actually, hold on. Stay with me. Well, this turned out to be an exciting show. I am not certain what that was, and I do think it might have been I am not certain, folks. I'm really not certain. I don't think I'm in any danger. I don't feel like I'm in danger. I do not know what that was. That was, whatever that was really big. I really felt the whole building kind of like jump. I do not know what that was. But considering that fact that the air is not changed and the atmosphere hasn't changed, I do think it may have been just something that fell. Something really heavy that fell. I'm not trying to put dead air also, but I'm trying to listen to what could have been an issue. And I'm not sure if you guys witnessed like the massive shake. I don't have any emails. No alerts are going out right now. I'm gonna be right back because I'm just wanting to check out my immediate area just to make sure. You know, maybe somebody could be hurt, and I don't want to be a person that goes, oh, I didn't know. I was in my office the entire time. I'm actually kind of concerned. Like, I don't see outside my office, so like I'm not sure what's going on. I may have to just cut the stream here. But we'll see. I'm gonna take a real brief look at my surroundings, and then I'll be right back. I'm not entirely concerned. I don't feel like I'm in danger, but at the same time, it's like that was really massive. That shook everything. So that had been either a heavy fall or something had heavy hit the ground on the building. So, or maybe somebody hit the building. That could have been a possibility too. So give me a second. I'll be right back, and yeah, we'll try to see what that was, and I'll let you guys know. Give me a quick second. Oh, wow. I was muted the entire time. See, that's how confuzzled we were. I was muted for the better half of that other part of the show. Well, I'm going to definitely go into the editor and we're going to fix that part of the show. We were all probably wondering what I was doing that past half hour. We've had some issues going on above us, and we've been working on the website and excited about everything else. That's the clouded mind. Being sick today, I didn't check to see if I had that unchecked. Oh, that's so devastating. No, I could have sworn I did, but it's okay. Hey, it was a good episode with you guys. Sorry that you missed the better half of it. Trying to get that website up and going. We'll be working on that for the rest of the day. Keep your eyes checked, peeled for that. We have a bunch of other things that you can experience with inside of our community. Make sure that you can be able to enjoy that. It is 9 a.m. here. It will be noon for you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys. Sorry for the muted section there, but you guys got to listen to some good music, hopefully in the background. But yeah, I was there talking the entire time about different stuff with things going above me and banging around, and also like dealing with the website and trying to get it back up and going. It's going to be ongoing, so keep your eyes peeled for it. I might do a dev vlog in the afternoon, so keep an eye out for the announcement whenever I go live. I'll do a live show to kind of demonstrate the website and its functionality this afternoon. I got a couple of other things that I have to take care of during this day. I'm going to try to get this out there as quickly as possible. We talked about a lot of different things today. We talked about what did we talk about? We talked about some CMA that went on this weekend, and a great country music going on there. We talked about the Emmys. We talked about Taylor Swift and the music that she put out there, and independent music, so forth like that, like how that has impacted NASCAR, how we're not following it. We got football going on, soccer for most, for some people, but yeah, we're going to be following FIFA and keep an eyes out, your ear and eyes out peeled for that. And for a whole bunch of things. Sorry for the muted section of the show. Do apologize for that. I really, with what was going on above me and dealing with, trying to get this site up, I kind of, with the clouded mind of feeling kind of sick today, I really didn't double check to see if my mic was muted. So we had a section where you just see me mouthing a bunch of stuff, but it happens. That kind of stuff happens sometimes when you're doing a bunch of stuff, and I do apologize for that. We'll get around to doing, we'll get around to having a better episode on Friday. So we'll see you then. Make sure that you guys see us throughout the entire week. We've got a couple of productions that are going on, whether it be You, Me, and Mr. Coffee, or it's going to be Wednesdays and Saturdays that are going to be gaming with me. Hopefully we'll be able to have our friends this week on Saturday coming with us and join us and having good fun and games. On Wednesday, we're definitely doing a Game Pass show where we're going to be looking at peeking at the Jurassic World Evolutions 3 via Game Pass. So lots of different things that we'll be doing this weekend. Keep your eyes peeled for the website updates as it will roll on. Do not make a membership. Do not make your member profile yet. Wait until the dev vlog. That will come this afternoon. I will inform you on how to do it and what to be looking out for if things go bad, and how you can inform me that things go bad. But yeah, we got a lot of things going on. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got also some appointments that I got to meet. There is an appointment actually approaching very shortly for me for the VA, and I gotta take that. But after that, I will go right back into building fixing the sign-in. Right now, it's the sign-in. The sign-in is the problem. That's the problem that we have. We got the ability for you to create a profile, but then the signing in actually is broken. Sorry. Fixing it. We're going to get it fixed. As soon as I get it fixed, I'm going to go live again, and I'm going to give you guys an update. I'm going to walk you through the process, and then we're going to get you guys access to the website. Today is website day, so you know it. Sorry for that, but without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and head out here. It's been a great show. I hope to see you guys in the Wednesday show and the Friday next You, Me, and Mr. Coffee. That's going to be Friday, where we're going to expand on what happened during the week and enjoy that for two special people that are out there in the world. I love and miss you guys. You're always on my mind. For the rest of you, you're always, of course, on my mind too, but I do get to see you guys every day, and it's been a tremendous fun-filled event. I'm Xylarona. You guys take it easy. Peace.